I remember the day I met her as if it were yesterday. Her laughter echoed through the room, a melody that stirred something in me I hadn't felt before. Fresh out of high school, I had just started a job that barely paid the bills. But her smile made me feel like I could conquer the world. Her name was Lily, and she quickly became the center of my universe. The Bible's warning had always been clear. Do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. But in my youthful excitement, I thought I knew better. We're going to get married anyway, we reasoned. Our love felt so pure, so real, that waiting seemed unnecessary. We told ourselves that our intentions justified our actions. That's how it started, innocently enough, or so I thought. But the little compromises grew into habits. Our physical intimacy became a routine that dulled my sense of right and wrong. Slowly but surely, my faith began to waver. Skipping church once felt like a minor slip. Then it became a habit. Prayers became fewer and far between. The Word, which had once been my guiding light, gathered dust on the nightstand. Without realizing it, I had opened the door for the enemy to work. The foothold he gained in my life became a stronghold. My job, already challenging, felt unbearable. Financial stress mounted. My joy evaporated, replaced by a persistent cloud of guilt and shame. But I buried those feelings deep, convincing myself that I was fine. Then, one day, Lily sat me down. Her eyes were somber, her voice steady but heavy with finality. Claude, I can't do this anymore. We've drifted apart. I've met someone else. Her words hit me like a freight train. The girl I had planned to marry, the one I thought I couldn't live without, was gone. And with her departure came a deafening silence that forced me to confront the emptiness I had tried so hard to ignore. In the days that followed, I found myself at rock bottom. The despair was overwhelming. My heart ached with the weight of regret and loss. But in that darkness, a faint glimmer of hope began to grow. I remembered the words of Romans 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. I fell to my knees one night, tears streaming down my face, and cried out to God. I confessed everything, the fornication, the pride, the way I had pushed him aside. And in that moment, I felt his presence surround me. It wasn't condemnation I felt, but love. A love that whispered, "Come back home, my child." From that day on, I made a choice to turn my life around. I immersed myself in the Word, surrounded myself with godly mentors, and found a new church where I could grow in faith. Slowly but surely, God began to restore what had been broken. The shame that had weighed me down was replaced with peace. I realized that the love I had been chasing was a shadow of the love God had always offered. I learned to wait, to trust in his timing for everything, including my future spouse. As Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Today, I'm still single, but my heart is full. I'm waiting for my God-given wife, not a mouse, not a knife, but the kingdom spouse he has prepared for me. What the devil meant for evil, God turned for good. And though my past is a scar, it's also a testimony of his grace. To anyone who's lost their way, take it from me. There is no pit so deep that God's love isn't deeper still. Surrender to him, and he will write a story far greater than anything you could imagine.